You might be asking, Rose, what do you even want?
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Hey. So, I quit my job. For the first time in my life, I feel great. I feel happy. I feel like I'm finally doing something for myself. But at the same time, I'm scared. But like, it's a good scared, you know? So my name is Rose, and I've been living in Dallas, Texas for almost about 8 years now. I left my family, my parents, when I was about 10 years old, and I moved in with some of my relatives. I grew up with my relatives from the age of 10 all the way up until high school, and so up until about 18, I moved out and got my own place, and I've been on my own since then. My family, which is like my mom, my dad, my brother, sister, they live in Florida. And just being on your own, especially like when you're 18, there's a lot of things to learn, especially for a young kid who's naive and going through a lot of issues as well, especially with like career choice and identity crisis and a lot of other things. But for once in my life, I am doing something that is for me. Like, I'm following my heart, I am following my dreams, like I'm trying to pursue the thing that I want for myself, you know? Like, for so long, for the past 6 years, okay? Like, I'm 23 right now. I've started working since I was about 15, 16-ish, let's just say 16. So, for the past 6 years, I've done nothing but literally work. I tried to go to school when I was 18. I tried so hard to go to class and pursue a major that I would end up loving and all this stuff. And I just could not see myself going to school and figuring out my life just in a couple of short years, you know what I mean? It was really difficult for me to kind of just wing it and figure it out. It was really hard because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Ever since I was in 5th grade, someone asked me, so what do you want to be when you grow up, Rosanna? And I did not know what to say. So when I was in 5th grade, I dated a little boy who said he wanted to be a lawyer, and I claimed that as what I wanted to do. I grew up my entire life because I never knew how to answer that question. And so whenever someone asked me that, I would just say, I want to be a lawyer. When I got to 7th grade, I listened to my aunt who said, hey, why don't you try being like an international business lawyer? I had no idea what that was, but it sounded cool, you know. She was like, well, you can travel and you can do this. And I was like, well, that'd be great, you know. I was so wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Who knew that literally working for a company and doing all these things, going to school, getting good grades, having a college degree and all this stuff just meant for you to go out into the world and go into a company that hopefully you'll be with them for the rest of your life and rely on a job security that will keep you and your family comfortable until the day that you die. Yeah, no, that was not cut out for me. Like, that was not something that I wanted to do whatsoever. And so for the past 6 years, I have done nothing but work. And it's because I had to work. I moved out so young. I had to support myself. I had to pay my bills. I had a new car, you know, so I had a car payment that I had to deal with. And there was a lot going on. So I try to save my money, but again, being the young teen that I am, I literally just spent it all the time, and I just didn't know anything about money. I didn't know how to save it. I didn't know how to keep it. The only thing that I really knew was just how to spend it. And I knew that if I needed money, I can just go work and I would make more money. And that was a really bad way of thinking, you know? I have never been so depressed and so sad and so confused and so stressed in my life than I have in the past couple of years when I've been trying to figure it out, like, all alone. Like, I've been trying to figure out what my purpose is in life, right? Just like how all the millennials are trying to figure that out. But at the same time, I've been trying to figure it out in the case of, what is it that I was meant to do? Like, what was I put on this earth for? Why did I go through all these things as a young kid, having a rough life and all these things? And like, what am I doing now at the age of about to be 23? Like, there has to be some kind of meaning, you know what I mean? And I thought about it long and hard, and I realized that, here's the thing, I wanted to get a puppy. I wanted to get a little corgi because I've been feeling down and stressed and not knowing what the heck to do with my life. And it's like, it's not that I'm not grateful. Like, I have an amazing apartment. I have a great car and loving family and all this stuff, but I was just very unimpressed with my life. You know what I mean? Like, I was so unimpressed because I was just like, really? Like, that's it? Like, I'm just gonna go to work and make X amount of money and then go home, have a day off, and work the next 6 days and just repeat that? Until when? Like, when is it ever gonna be good enough? You know? And I was just like, honestly, if I keep doing this, it's never gonna be good enough. Like, I don't wanna be stuck in a restaurant serving for the rest of my life, or doing this thing of staring at these gray walls that's surrounding my restaurant for like the next 1 to 2 years, as I watch everyone around me go on vacation, as I watch everyone around me let life pass me by and all this stuff. And I was, no, like, I don't want that. I don't want to grow old and just live with all of these regrets when I'm still so young, you know? And like, the thing that I had with my thinking was the fact that if I do this, you know, let's say I quit my job and I follow my dreams and all this stuff, and it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, you know? Okay, that's fine. I will build myself back up. I'll just go get a new job. I will try to figure something else out. And at least I can say that I did it. At least I freaking tried. And at least I know what it's like to really try to go and follow your dreams and it not work out. But then there's this other side of me that believed in myself so much that said, if you do this, if you put 100% or more of what you are doing into your, like, what you're doing at your job, and you take all of this and you just put a little bit of it into what it is that you love, just imagine how much you can grow. And this little bit of belief inside of me, this little faith that I had inside of me really pushed me, because I was like, if I spend the time, you know, and let's say I have a month, right? A month's time frame max, where I am able to just utilize every single second, every hour of my day of creating content, making music, doing things that I love, blogging, writing books, or whatever it is that I am doing, and I utilize my time efficiently, a little part of me tells me that so much more could happen if I really don't slack off, if I don't watch TV, if I don't sit here and binge watch Netflix shows and all these things and go out to friends and party and eat and do all these, you know, wasteless things on the weekends, then maybe I can really make it. Maybe I can be a success story that quit their job and did it, you know? And I know it's not gonna just take a couple of weeks, that it's gonna change my entire life, but it's something that I'm doing for myself that, like, not a lot of people can understand. And it's risky, it's super risky, and it's stupid, and it's crazy, but at the same time, it feels amazing to actually do something for myself. Like, Working for the past 6 years, what I have learned is the fact that I have done nothing but pursue someone else's dream. I have done nothing but work for someone else, give them that money, give them that comfort, and bring in all these people. And like working in a restaurant industry, you meet a lot of great people, and me leaving my job was the most saddest thing that I could have ever done because of the relationships that I built with all of the people. And I just want to go ahead and put out there that like I was very fortunate enough to work in a sushi restaurant that my aunt and my uncle own. So they have 2 restaurants right now. They're working on 3, and I was able to go under their wing and be like their assistant manager. But in that case, I was technically serving in like part-time assistant, part-time server. And doing that allowed me to really like, you know, hone in my customer service skills, talk and meet a lot of different people. But the one thing that really just bugged me, that just like didn't sit right with me, was the entire time that I worked at the restaurant, I kept seeing so many corporate people and all these older folks that would come in who, quite frankly, a lot of them will come in and eat alone for the most part, and sometimes maybe with a business partner. But the fact that they are in their late 40s, early 50s, you know, 46, 52, 54, and they're coming in with their corporate jobs, and they're in these, you know, suits and all this stuff, and like collecting phone calls. It's sad. It's so saddening, because it's like you work Monday through Friday, and all you have is just a lunch break that you get to have for 30 minutes, and if you're lucky, an hour, which you charge to a business expense. But at the same time, like, you sit there and you are so lonely, and it shows, you know, like a lot of times, like you have a lot of guys who come by themselves, or women, and like sometimes when you talk to these people, they kind of just give off that vibe. Or if you actually get close, I gotten close to quite a lot of them, because I love talking to people, and so many of them just always says, man, if I could just, you know, if I could just turn back the time to like 20 years ago, if I just, you know, actually did what I wanted and all these things. Because I would talk to them and I would ask like what was it that you always wanted to do? And some of them would say, man, I wanted to be a baseball player, you know. I was a rock star, I was so good. Oh man, I wanted to be in a boy band, you know, me and my brother and whatever. And like, they have all these dreams, and it's like they let society and all these people around them take that away from them. You know, like the number one thing that I hated the most, or even just in general that I just hate that people say is, oh, you need to be realistic. That's not gonna work out. Like, why is it the fact that we have all these wonderful people around us, our moms or dad or aunts or uncles, all of these great guardians and mentors that we have, but then when it comes to us following what it is that we want, that is deep down in our heart, they want to stop us from doing that. You know, like, I get that you guys care. I get that you guys are afraid that we're gonna fail. You want us to be perfect. You want us to have some type of like a net. You want us to fall back on something and just be able to just like say, hey, just why can't you be comfortable with living like in a little apartment, working your 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life and earn $60,000 a year? That's great and all, but that's not what I want. That's what you want. That's what you want. You're comfortable with 6 figures. You're comfortable with your having a family and maybe 2 cars on your porch and all this stuff. But that's not what I want. I don't want to be in this little tiny little bubble of this little tiny community when I know that there's so much more out there. When there's so much to actually go out and experience and like just see for my life. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things out there that we don't get to like touch and experience. Like it blows my freaking mind. We live on a planet that has so many great things, but yet we spend literally a fraction of our life, 40 plus years, stuck in a company in which maybe if we're lucky we get paid time off vacation, perhaps maybe 1 week to 3 weeks in a year, where we're able to just like go across the world. That is so sad. Like, that is ridiculous. And it's like, so Rose, what are you gonna do now? You know what? I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know that I believe in myself and that I'm gonna make it, whether it's a month from now, whether it's a year from now, but at least I know that I'm doing something for myself. I know that like working for someone else is not what I want. That is not what I want. And I'm gonna take a month off and spend my time figuring my shit out until I get that right. And if I fail, then I fail. At least I did it. You know what I mean? The one thing that I hate the most is like, I get when people who love you, they care for you, but sometimes the number one thing that we all really need in our lives is just support and empathy and someone to be there and just say, hey, I believe in you, you can totally do it. Do it. Go out there and follow your heart, follow your dreams, because you have that power to do it. I believe in you and I know you can do that. You are amazing, you're so talented, like, seriously. Like, sometimes like that is all that we really need, but instead what we get is, hey, I care for you, you just have to be careful, you know, think about like this and this and this, and what if this happens, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, thank you, but I've already thought about all of that. I've thought about the negatives, I've thought about what happens, the what ifs, and all of the worst case scenarios, you know, like I've thought of everything possible. I don't need you to tell me that. I don't need you to put more negative shit into my life, because I am already on the verge of breaking, because I have literally done everything in my possible ability way of quitting my job and doing all these risky things of literally not having something to fall back on. And all I really need is just comforting words of you telling me that I got this, that I can do this. But sometimes the ones we love, they don't want us to fail. They are scared that we might not make it, and they're scared that we're gonna get hurt from those things. But you know, it's a lesson learned, you know, like, I love you guys, you know, like whether you be my partner, my mom, my dad, my aunt, whoever it is, I know you care. I know you love me and you support me all the way. But it's like, I need your support all the way in the sense of just be there. You know, like sometimes all we really need is to just learn. We just need to just go out there, do it, fuck up, mess up, just experience it for ourselves, you know? Like sometimes all we really have to go through is literally experience. And I feel like a lot of our older people, or the people that like love us so much, they don't want us to go through that experience, because maybe it's hard, or maybe it's tough, or maybe like it sucks. But like, we're not gonna learn if we don't go through that. We're not gonna figure it out, and we're not gonna know what it feels like if we don't know what it actually feels like, you know? Like, I get that older people, they try to tell us advice and these things because they want to keep us from messing up, you know, from messing up our lives, from having a kid and, you know, ruining our dreams and all these things or whatever. And like, they just want us to just have this little cookie cutter life. But it's like, I don't want that, you know, and I want to try to mold my life, if I can, to what it is that I want. I want to do the things that I want. And if you might be asking, Rose, what do you even want? I want to be me. I want to travel the world if I can, you know, if I can. I want to be debt free. I want to pay off all my bills. I want to be able to take care, not even, but like provide something for my mom or my dad or something, at least, you know, to give back and like not have them worry about money all the time or having to work or borrow from other people. I want to be able to make music and sing and not really care about what other people think. I want to go out into public and be a free character and just be me. Be very free-spirited and do the things that I want and not really care about judgment. I want to create videos and make content, and I just really want to inspire people and tell them that they can do these things. I want to say that I have been through a lot. I want to share my story. I want to share my journey and be able to inspire others to do the same. Like, it's crazy because when we're young, we feel like our problems are so big. But if you really just take a step back and think about it, whether you're 18, 19, 20, even if you're like 27, 28, or even if you're in your 30s, early 30s, you're literally in your first fraction of your life. If we're lucky, we can live up to 100 years and we have this huge timeline, and we're literally just like a quarter of the way, you know what I mean? Like, we have so much time to figure so many things out, whether it be that we're young or we're old, or as we get older and we're learning all these things. But we have our entire lifetime to go through all these things and make mistakes and live it up. And it's like, in your 20s, this is the time for you to figure out who you want to be, where you want to be, what you want to do, and like, you have to think it and do it smartly. Like, spending your 20s is like, have fun, you know, but be smart. Like, go out, socialize, but build connections. Like, don't go out, get messed up every single weekend and throw your life away, and then just waking up and repeating that Monday through Friday schedule, and then just having your weekends and just repeating that for the rest of that year. Like, you're not improving your life in any way, you know? I have so many friends who text me and they're like, oh, I'm so bored, let's go do something, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, you have so much time. You have that entire day. Why aren't you doing something like with your life? Why aren't you like learning how to play the piano, or building a skill, or learning a new trait, or doing something, reading a book? Like, there's so much stuff to do that, like, nowadays with social media and the internet and the media, like, so many kids are taken away from that and that knowledge, that there's so much out there. There is so much out there than to just wake up and like, all right, well, I'm off today. What do? Let's go eat. Let's watch a movie. Okay, dinner, shower, let's go sleep. Tomorrow, work. That is ridiculous. Like, it blows my mind. Because some people don't have this knowledge. That some people literally figure this out when they're 42, 54, 63. And then it's too late. But in my head, it's never too late. It's never too late. If you want to do something, if you want to make music, if you want to share your story, make an impact, or do whatever it is, you have all the time in the world. It's just, you really have to believe in yourself. And you know what, like, sometimes in life, the ones who really love you are the ones that drag you down. You know, sometimes they're the one who holds you from just breaking through and just becoming so inspirational and like being that best version of you, you know? I realized from just reading so many books and having all these different mentors and all these things that I realized sometimes you just gotta let that go. You know, like, for so long I thought that I owed my family something. For so long I felt like because that was my family, I had to listen to them. I had to, like, you know, tippy-toe around them and do all these things. But fuck that, man. Like, I'm so done with, like, having all these people around me just because they're your family and all this stuff that you have to listen and be good and whatever. They're just human beings. They're people. They're people at the end of the day. They're still learning, you know, like, they're still figuring their life out too as they're going by, as they're getting older. And I realized that whether it be your family, your, like, you know, your brother, your aunt, your mom, your dad, your cousin, whoever it is, like, sometimes you kind of just have to cut them off. Say, look, I love you, but I have something to do, and you'll see later, and you'll see why. Because sometimes if we don't do that, and we have them around us, and we surround ourselves with that energy, it keeps us from growing. It keeps us from doing better. It keeps us from trying to have an open mind of growth and like prosperity and all these things that we want for our lives. And it sucks. It hurts, you know, but it's okay. Like, they're going to understand. Family will always understand. As long as you don't like fuck up your life, as long as you don't like, you know, burn bridges or anything, it's okay. Therefore, to wrap up this video, I know I've been talking so much, but it's like, whether you're new to my channel, whether you're old to my channel, this is something that I have been dealing with for so long, and it's like, I think it's time to tell the world this. And I know that there's so many people out there that's trying to like let these people know about this, you know, this kind of idea or just this thing, basically. Because not a lot of people can grasp onto that idea of that you can do it, that you can be better, that you don't have to just sit in an office for the rest of your life. But there's a lot of people that's just, they're scared of change, they're scared of fear. Like, for the longest time when I was 18, I had this plan. I was very optimistic. I was a go-getter, I was an adventurer, you know. I wanted to go to my community college and get my associates for the first 2 years and start there. And then I was gonna go and move to Korea, where I was gonna teach English. And then I was gonna move to Korea, where I was gonna teach English, because when you have your associates, they provide free lodging for you. So that's amazing, because then I would have a year in Korea where I just get all of these experience of just living in a different country, you know, meeting different people and like learning a different culture. And soon after that year, I would just go to Canada, live there for a year, and finish up with my law degree program. But none of that happened, and I'm so great that it didn't happen, because here I am now at 22, 23, literally living my best life in my own mindset, and finally knowing what it is that I want, and knowing that what my purpose is literally to do this. Like, I am given a platform so I can talk to you guys and literally share you my thoughts. I'm able to tell you what I think and what I want and what I wish for everyone to see. And I'm finally able to do that. I'm finally seeing what it is that I was meant to do. Why I had such a bad past, why I went through so much crap, and why I matured so fast is for this reason right here, right now. And honestly, I could not be more thankful, more grateful in this moment that I get to be here and have this, all of it. And I wish for you the same. And I know you can, and I know that life gets hard, that sometimes our problems are so big that money takes over everything, that sometimes it's just easier to complain than it is to be happy. Sometimes it's easier to think about the things that we don't have than the things that we actually have. But when you actually think about it and you start to become more grateful of your surrounding and building that vibration and just attracting all of that positivity into your life, of that abundance and just wealth, prosperity, and just like love, affection, happiness, and growth into your life, only then can you truly be happy, because only then will you be happy with who you are deep down with yourself. That is it for today's video. I love you all. I wish you guys the best journey in your life, but follow me onto mine, comment, subscribe. I really want you guys to subscribe to my channel, because I really think we're gonna be something one day, you know, you and I both. And I wish you all just to follow on my journey to see where it goes. And you know what? If you guys want to follow all the way to the end, and if I don't make it, it's fine. It is. I'll just go get another job somewhere, serve again, and maybe like a year later figure it out. But if not, at least I get to say that I did it. Until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. My name is Rose, and stay with peace. I love you all. Bye.